Hey guys, Lindsay here. I just wanted to review some sugars and with the hopes basically that we will kind of help you understand what we're trying to avoid and what we can use on the shred. Really a lot of sugar goes by glycemic index in terms of how it's utilized by your body, whether it's chemically processed or not. So that is where I have really done a lot of study in terms of helping my daughter with her type 1 diabetes to flourish instead of see these crazy all over the board blood sugars and send her on the sugar roller coaster, as we call it. So one of the ones that I like to use because it's no glycemic index is 0 is stevia, and that is because it is a root, a natural root found in the ground that basically is processed. So it is some process, but it's the most natural form of a sweetener, and it can be somewhat bitter depending on the kind. I really like this Sweet Drops sweet leaf, and they have it in a lot of different flavors too. I think Kristen takes the vanilla one in her purse like a little grandma to for her mocktails on the weekends. But these are great, and I'll just show you that bottle. Sweet leaf, it has 0 impact on blood sugar. So when I can, I add stevia, and only stevia. If you look at Truvia, it is a mix of stevia with sugar alcohols, and I am not a big fan of sugar alcohols. They have done a lot of studies on them that basically show it's not, over time, if you're not eating them in moderation, they can really hurt your gut. So, and they are processed. So a lot of people think, oh, it's sugar-free because it says sugar alcohol, but it actually does add up to be some carb impact on your blood sugar, and it's also very not beneficial for your organs. Let's just put it that way. The gut is the main one. So stevia in its whole food form is awesome. They even have it in powders. You can use it in baking, all of that. So that's one of my go-tos for Avery especially. And then I'd say the second go-to, and this gets a little bit of flack in the health world because it is processed. So agave is actually the plant that you've seen in Phoenix that has spikes coming off of it. It's you can actually cut it and taste it, and it's sweet. But what they do is they have to process it to get the amber color refined out of the plant so that it's not able to just be dried. So they do consider it a processed sugar. But what I love about it is that its glycemic index is still only 16. And it says it has 16 carbs as compared to maple syrup and honey that also have 16 carbs per 1 tablespoon. But this one does not impact blood sugar like honey or maple syrup would. So we've gone to this and stevia as our basis for things that we make, just because I can see real time on Avery's CGM, her glucose monitor, basically, that it does not spike her like the other two that we would recommend. Well, there is a third, and that is coconut sugar. And this comes in powder form. You can find it in a syrup as well. And this is very low processed. And this one I like a lot. I couldn't find the glycemic index on it though. But I know for a fact that Avery does not spike as much from coconut sugar. So you can find the organic coconut sugar. This one is Trader Joe's, and it's very reasonably priced at Trader Joe's. Other places, I think they kind of take advantage of you. So if you can make a trip to Trader's, do it, because it is organic. And that just is an awesome product because it's basically the fiber is still in there, and that's why it has a lower glycemic impact on the blood sugar. So those are my 3 go-tos. In addition, we are allowing honey on the shred, as well as molasses and maple syrup. And I don't have a maple syrup to show you. We ran out. I usually use it on my pancakes outside of the shred. I don't need it, but I love it on pancakes. So So you can see I have a couple different honeys. This is raw and unfiltered. There are organic honeys that you can get. Really, I don't feel like it has to be organic, but those are organic bees. So hey, why not? You know, if you can afford it. Raw and unfiltered, we'd like, because it is not processed. And this again is, so maple syrup's gonna be the highest, and then molasses, and then honey in terms of glycemic index. And they are at a 55, 54, and 53 respectively, I believe. So they're pretty high up there. If you consider agave is at 16, and these guys are at 54. Now, sugar in its whole form, like evaporated cane sugar, has some fiber left in it, but mainly that kind of sugar is going, like glucose is 100 glycemic impact. So it's, if you go for the sugars that are more processed, like a refined white sugar, you're gonna have that 100% impact spike to your blood sugar. So I love thick honey. That's my thing. This one, you know, obviously is like completely thick. You can see how congealed it is. You can just kind of scoop that out and put it on, you know, whatever you're trying to sweeten. I usually like to scoop this a little, just a little dab, and I put it in my oatmeal or my chia seed pudding in the morning. And then this one is more runny. You can see it's going down the side. So I would bet that this one has a little bit more fiber left in it, and it's not going to spike you as quickly as this one. It seems like they're different in the refinement process. So I think this one's been heated more, this one's been heated less. And then molasses is awesome. I usually like that with tahini. I know we're not doing crackers on the shred, but if I'm off the shred, I usually have this on a wasa cracker. And Kristen will know what I'm talking about with wasa cracker. I can show you actually. These are not compatible with the shred, but they are, you know, lesser gluten and lower glycemic impact on my daughter too. So we have these, and I do almond butter or tahini with molasses on top, and it tastes great. So, but we're not doing crackers on the shred. So basically, I would just add any of these to my oatmeal, my chia seed pudding, any of the baking that we're doing. So I hope that's been valuable. Oh, one more thing I was gonna add is these dates. There is a date syrup made from dates, and if you can find organic and lower processing, that is as well a lower impact, but it's still going to be higher than agave. So I believe it falls in between molasses and agave. So you can look up all of these glycemic indexes too online, and it's super cool. So, but these are dates, and I know some of our recipes call for dates in their shred guide, but I like to use those sometimes if I'm gonna sweeten something like a dip or things like that too. So I just wanted to show you those as well. And that concludes all of my fancy tips here, quick tips for sweetening things up as we go about our shred. Take care, guys.